Hey, what's going on, guys? Here's another video. This is 1999 in metal, continuing the series, and we're gonna go start off right from the top. There's a lot of albums here, so and again, a lot of weird ones. So we're gonna start with a band that released two in this year. This is Judas Iscariot with Heaven in Flames and Distant and Solitary Night. So I'll go with the first one. I'm pretty sure he released this first. Distant and Solitary Night. Love the artwork. I think that's fantastic. As far as the album, there's pockets on here that are like incredibly sloppy, even for Akhenaten, and that's saying a lot. Specifically in the second song. But I love the first song is awesome. Was it the Dark Throne song? Was it like number 4 or whatever? That's awesome. And then the last song I really like a lot. It's a really good album. It's aside from that second song, I feel like it's very solid. He's finally starting to kind of like mature as far as like musicianship goes. Very, very good album. And then this is where Cryptic Winter does drums on here. The guy who does drums for To Embrace the Corpse's Bleeding. So he really stepped up his game on here. This is a fan favorite. I love this album. It's pretty much no complaints through and through. Excellent album. I love all these songs. He's thing about Judas Iscariot, he's an excellent songwriter. It's just much like myself, the execution isn't always on point. Much like myself in the sense that like my own project, I'm not always happy with the final result. But I feel like in black metal, especially for the early stuff, he was kind of like trying to go for that, or maybe not trying, but like okay with that, which I get, which is why the band is so legendary. But anyways, Heaven in Flames, yeah, it's a fantastic album and a legendary album for a good reason, because Cryptic Winter does a really good job. All right, after that, Acid King, Bussy Woods. This is like one of my favorite albums ever. I absolutely love this album. Every fucking song. This one comes with bonus tracks, Motorhead, which is a Hawkwind cover. That is like one of the best covers I've ever heard, ever. And then the other one, Not Fragile. I think that's like I don't know who that originally is by. Steve something? I don't know. That one's not that great, but yeah. The first couple songs in here. What is it? Oh, that's Not Fragile by BTO. What is it? Bachman Turner Overdrive. Yeah, that one's like whatever. But yeah, this album as a whole, absolutely phenomenal. Like borderline 10 out of 10 stuff. I've seen these guys play these songs like twice, and it's absolutely sensational. Silent Circle, absolutely amazing. Drive Fast, Take Chances, absolutely incredible song. Carve the Five, Bussy Woods, and then the single Electric Machine, incredible stuff. You know, if you like your Windhand and your Electric Wizard and you think they're as great as I do, you're gonna love that. All right, so this one I talked about in the other video because I messed up with Hunengrab. Yeah, great album. Definitely one of the most unique black metal albums you'll hear. Highly recommend. This is Naglfar with Hunengrab. Or Jesus Christ, man. This is Naglfar with Srutgorth. Yeah. Leagues better than the Swedish one. I'll just leave it at that. Alright, up next. Type O Negative, World Coming Down. I love this album. I don't love it as much as October Rust or Bloody Kisses or Life is Killing Me. I think I could do without Pyretta Blaze and that stupid Beatles medley song. I just think the Beatles are like the most overrated. The Beatles suck ass, man. I don't know. Every time I try to listen to the Beatles, it's the worst thing ever. And it just... I don't know. It's just like a side tangent. I just think they fucking suck. And there's like a cover song at the end of this, and it's just awful. And it's just like, because the rest of the album's great. White Slavery, fucking, I don't know. They never gotta open the whole thing to look at the song titles. Look at this. Ugh. White Slavery. Everyone I Love Is Dead is awesome. Who Will Say the Same? Excellent song. Everything Dies. World Coming Down, the title track. Pirate Blaze sucks. All Hallows Eve is okay. I think there was like one or two others. Yeah, it's a very, very good album. Again, not as good as like October Rust or something like that, but very good in its own right. It's better than the first two, in my opinion. All right, and so we'll go with this one here. This is my last of this band's discography. This is Kings of Chaos. This one right here by Hecate Enthroned. That's pretty cool. I listened to it the other day. It's definitely a lot more death metal influenced, and I like that it's super short. Yeah, it's a pretty solid album, actually. Not really any complaints other than the fact that it's just kind of like, I don't know, that's just Hecate Enthroned doing what they do, but with more death metal thrown in. Solid stuff. You know, again, I wouldn't put it above Cradle of Filth or anything like that, but for what it is, it's pretty good. Check these 3 albums out, though. They're pretty good. You might be surprised. And the first 2 specifically, Slaughter of Innocents and Dark Requiems, it's like Cradle of Filth, but way more black metal. And Kings of Chaos is way more death metal. So, and then this one, this is another fun. Why do I have so many Blackened collections? It's so annoying. But Enthroned, Blackened Collection, Apocalypse Manifesto, which came out in 1999. This is, it's either this or Zest Hereticum is my favorite by the band. I really need to get this on physical format because it's just embarrassing having just this. Again, I got this in like Ireland years ago, and it has all 4 of their first 4 albums, which is nice, and it's cheap. But yeah, anyway, Apocalypse Manifesto is like Panzer Division Marduk times like 20, in my opinion. It's like way more hellish and way more in your face. Well, maybe not in your face, but way more. It's definitely faster. I don't know what the drummer was doing on that. Like, it was one of those drum sounds where you could tell like he doesn't even know what the hell he's doing, but he's blasting at like 10,000 million beats per minute. Because he can't really slow down. Every time they slow down in the music, like you could tell he's like not a very good drummer. But for some reason he could pull off like 230 beats per minute for like 2 or 3 minutes straight, which is crazy. But again, yeah, early Enthroned, can't go wrong. Apocalypse Manifesto was easily my favorite of their early stuff. Excellent stuff. All right, anyway, gotta get going here, because this got a lot of shit here. Summoning Stronghold, probably my favorite by the band. Excellent stuff. This one's way more guitar driven than their pretty much all their other stuff. Yeah, I mean, Long Lost to Where No Pathway Goes. Top tier shit. Love the guitar in that. A Distant Flame Before the Sun. I think that was might have been the first song I heard by them. Phenomenal track. That to me is why this band is so legendary. And then everything else in between is great. Yeah, like I said, probably my favorite by the band. You just can't go wrong. Sensational album. Great stuff. And, you know, after that they did Oathbound, which is awesome, and then the other 2 I never really checked out too much, so. Alright, here's kind of an awkward one. This one I actually kind of like, though. It's a guilty pleasure that I actually kind of like. Korn. This is Korn with Issues. I actually like this album. I'm not gonna lie. I know the past couple of videos I've been showcasing new metal and shit like that. That's kind of embarrassing, and I kind of like agree with that. But this album actually is really good. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be 16 tracks. We can whittle that down a little bit. But I mean, Falling Away From Me. Trash is easily the best song they've ever made, in my opinion. I love that song. What else do they have here? Wake Up's pretty cool. Make Me Bad is awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of good songs in here. And there's like some kind of like filler, like, or not filler, but like intermission type songs that are kind of cool. I think for the most part, I mean, with the exception of like Let's Get This Party Started and Counting, maybe, this is like a pretty phenomenal album. So, Korn Issues, if they just did this, nothing else, I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty awesome band. Alright, after that, this fucking album is such a headache. Take with Nadastid. Yeah, you know, I've tried so hard to get into these guys for so long, and I don't know what it is. I really can't get into Take too much. I like this album a lot. I really do. The songs on here are great, but I can't. The production on here is just abysmal. At least like drumming wise, it's just sounds horrible. That sounds absolutely horrible. And I love the first song, Nadastid 1, and then the last song is excellent as well. But I just think it suffers from just horrible production. Specifically, you know, I'm a drummer, so like this stands out to me. Specifically in the drumming, the cymbals and shit, it sounds horrible. This is a good album, don't get me wrong, but I can't do the production. It's just, I never listen to this because it's just... And then like all their other albums are like, they range from like good to not good. I don't understand why they get so much credit. I saw them live at MDF and I want to say it was 2014 maybe. And they're really good. He put on a really good show, but I don't know. I just could never get into his style of black metal. And it's the same thing with like Shining and all that shit. Like I just never could get into it. I don't know. All right, so the next one I could easily get into. I got into it immediately when I heard it. This is In Flames Colony. I also have this on vinyl because this is one of the best, just straight up metal albums like ever. Every fucking song in here is just incredible. You know, you could say what you want about them now, but back in the day, like here, this era, you really can't beat it. And I don't even like Iron Maiden. I don't like a lot of like riff heavy, or I don't say riff heavy, but like heavy metal influence type bands. But In Flames Colony and the two preceding it, and even Clayman, it's just simply unbeatable in my opinion. So moving on, this is kind of a controversial one. Nocturnal Mortem with Any Christ. Yeah, I love this album. I like it a lot better than Goat Horns. There's actually a band playing in this album. Stands back in amazement. But they actually like hired a drummer. Does a phenomenal job. Yeah, it's very raw. It's very in your face. But if you take the time to listen to it, it's really cool. There's a lot of different influences. These guys are just phenomenal songwriters. You know, this has Perun Celestial Silver, Funeral Wind Born in Oriana. Yeah, it's a controversial one because it has, like, you know, songs like Call of the Aryan Spirit and whatever. And again, I've said my piece about that type of music. I don't give a shit. Excellent album. I actually picked this up used at a local record shop a couple years ago. But, yeah, phenomenal album. Very underrated, in my opinion. All right, next up. This is a cool one. Satyricon, Rebel Extravaganza, very underrated album. I know they played this in its entirety like 2 or 3 years ago overseas in Europe. Yeah, this is kind of, I mean, I get why people wouldn't like this at first because you're coming off like Nemesis Divina and you're making this. It's kind of like it's like their Thorns album or Dot Heimsgard album. But I love it. Titan Bronze James, insanely fast riffs on there, like just the drumming on here as a whole is just like holy shit, man. Listen to the end of the Scorn Torrent. Even to this day, I don't give a shit about your stupid brutal death metal bands and all that. The end of the Scorn Torrent, how long he keeps those blasts up for, that's gonna be like 220 beats per minute or something. Find me another band that does that, just straight blasting, because you can't find it. It's that song to this day gives me shivers. That last part is like, holy fuck, man. And then Supersonic Journey, incredible. I really, really like this album a lot. It took a while to grow on me, because it is like, that's when they started to like dip into like the black and roll kind of territory, which is like, you know, not the greatest, but absolutely phenomenal album. And I think I mentioned this album earlier. This is Panzer Division Marduk. I got this in Ireland as well, as with that dopey Blackened Collection and Throne thing I have. Excellent album. What can you say? I mean, everyone loves Panzer Division Marduk. I do as well. It's a, you know, short and sweet, right to the point, 32-minute classic. Fist Fucking God's Planet, Christ Raping Black Metal, Baptism by Fire, Beast of Prey, 502. I mean, yeah. I mean, is it, in my opinion, is it as good as Battles in the North or even like Apocalypse Manifesto? No, but it's really good for its own right. Swedish black metal to me is very hit or miss. Like, I love the first Dark Funeral. Outside of that, it's kind of hit or miss. I don't know. So this is kind of a random one. This is the first Fintroll album, Midnatten's Wit Under. Yeah, this is like definitely, I would say, I still love this album. It's a concise like 29 minutes. I don't know. It's a pretty cool start for them, because at the time there really wasn't anything out there like it. These guys were like really big for a hot minute, and then they kind of just, I don't know, they kind of are like not doing much anymore, but I still love this album. The first 3 albums in that EP, Visorum Slutet, are fantastic. Love the black metal influence. I love the folk elements. This is before folk metal became just a complete parody of itself, which was just like, I used to be huge into folk metal, like Asmigan and Einherjar and Moonsorrow and Managarm, all the good stuff, back before like bullshit like Turasass and all that shit came out. It's like, ooh, it's so fun. Let's all row in the mosh pit and all that type of shit. And then I was like, all right, fuck off. I don't need this shit. But Fintroll was a band I saw way back in the day. I think it was like 2006. I saw them in New York City with Sodom, and that was like right after Natfood. That was like a fantastic show. So believe it or not, there was a time when folk metal wasn't a complete fucking parody of itself, if you can even imagine a concept. Anyway, after that, speaking of folk stuff, Agalloch Pale Folklore. Like this album, don't love it. I listened to this semi-recently. It's a little all over the place. Kind of one of those things where it's like too many ideas at once. But I love the third song, I think. Because I think the first song is like split into 3 parts. There's some really good ideas on here, don't get me wrong. And there's some good songs as well. But I just don't... I don't know, Agalloch is like one of those bands where it's just like, they're good, but they're not amazing. But I can also kind of appreciate why people would love them. Yeah, I had this in the mantle. It's good stuff. Like I said, I think it's the third song has a really, really cool bass guitar riff. Yeah. It's a solid album. Not bad, but there are parts where it kind of goes off the rails a bit. It's like too many ideas at once. Anyway, I've still got a ton of albums here. Next one, Immolation, Failures for Gods. Excellent, excellent death metal. Like I've said in my other videos, Immolation is just like one of the best death metal bands out there. This is one of their first albums. I want to say it's their 3rd album. Yeah, you just can't go wrong, man. I mean, turn this on, turn on any of their albums, and it's just a whirlwind of just 10 out of 10 death metal. You know, just they're on tour right now with Rotting Christ and Deicide, and I would absolutely love to see that, but I don't really want to drive into the city, so. Other than that, though, work of art, absolutely phenomenal band, legacy band through and through. Here's a band that I can't really say the same for. Behemoth with Satanica. Behemoth sucks ass now. After like pretty much Demigod, with the exception of a couple songs here and there, they just, I don't know. I've said this to friends before. Nurgle is the Bono of death metal. I cannot stand the guy. I think he's just the most vomit fucking personality in the entire scene. And everyone sucks up to him because I don't even want to get into my like conspiracy theories and shit. But anyway, his early shit is very good. Satanica is probably This Zarskai Cultist is my favorite. Thelma 6 I like a lot. I'm not crazy about the production, but this one's great. It has some really cool raw production. Love his vocals on here. I mean, you got Decade of Therion, Lamb, Ceremony of Shiva, Chant for Eschaton. Really, really great album. And it's short and to the point, too, which is really cool. All right, so after that, I'll get this one over with. Ryan Christ, Sleep of the Angels. Everyone hates this album. I kind of get it to a degree. It's like kind of like they go into like more the Moonspell side of things, which you know, it's not for everyone. I like it. It's definitely more, I guess, for lack of a better term, kind of rocky. It's definitely kind of more goth rock sort of sounding, but I guess that was like the style for the time. But I think I bought this maybe 10 years ago, and I don't know. I like it. I like Cold Colors, After Dark, I feel. The World Made End is really good. I don't know. A lot of people really hate this album. I don't know. I think just like pretty much everything else Rotting Christ has done, I think they're all, I don't think they've made an album that's below 7 out of 10. So, all right, we got 6 more here, and this is another band that released 2 this year, or in 1999. Passage to Hither with their self-titled. This is an absolutely sensational album. Oh my god. Like, this is one of the best atmospheric black metal albums you'll ever hear, period. Believe the hype, because I know these guys are always like high up on year-end lists, and you know, I didn't get into these guys until probably like 6 years ago or so, and you know, when I heard this, I was like, holy shit, like this guy knows how to write atmospheric black metal. 10 out of 10 stuff. This is right up there with Burzum and Ruins of Beverast and early Druid and stuff like that. And then the other album he released this year, Kirker. I absolutely love this album. I love how cavernous and suffocating it sounds. A lot of people don't like this album. It's their lowest rated on, next to Geister on Rate Your Music. I think this album is absolutely fantastic. I think it, to me, this album invokes images, or it reminds me a lot of that. This sounds so nerdy, but if for anyone who likes get out of here. Sorry, my cat. For anyone who likes Samurai Jack, that episode where he's like in the Himalayas and there's like those Yeti like making swords and they challenge him to a fight or whatever. That's what this album reminds me of. I absolutely love it for that. And yes, it's a very harrowing experience. It's not for everyone, but I think it's one of his best. Everything by Passage to Hither, besides the album Geister, is, again, not lower than an 8 out of 10. All right, got 4 more here. This is an EP by Cradle of Filth, From the Cradle to Enslave. I love this album. It's really good. This is right after Cruelty and the Beast. This is right when Adrian Erlandson joined. And he does Of Dark Blood and Fucking. And then some other guy drums on From the Cradle to Enslave. I don't know why. And then there's also a Misfits cover, an Anathema cover, and then Another cover. I don't really know who else, but yeah, it's a pretty solid EP. I love Of Dark Blood and Fucking. That's a great song. From the Cradle to Slave is a staple. They always play that live. I love the Funeral in Carpathia remix too, or re-recording rather, from Dusk and Embrace. It's a really solid EP. This is right when they did that like weird gore movie with like the what the fuck was that called? I don't know. They did some, was that a music video or a movie? I don't know. But this is a pretty cool era in their discography. It was sad because Nick Barker had to leave, but whatever. All right, after that, this is a classic. Windir, Arntor. Excellent, excellent, phenomenal goddamn Viking metal. Right up there with Enslaved and Falkenbach, if not, in some cases, better. This is easily his best work. Yeah, man, Valfar was a genius back then. Sad what happened to him, but this album, I love the production, love the riffing, love his guitar writing style. Great drumming, great vocals. What can you say? That's it. Borderline 10 out of 10 album. All right, last two here. Nargaroth with the Herbslade or Herbslade. I love this album. It's really long, but it's really cool. It's very cinematic. I know Nargaroth is like a very goofy kind of person in the black metal community, but this album in particular is great. Sounds a lot like Graveland. There's a lot of like really epic harmonies and stuff like that. If nothing else, I get it why you wouldn't want to check out Nargaroth because he's a goofball, but check this album out. It's really, really fantastic. And then the last one, last but not least, this is one of my favorite albums ever. Right, Abbott? This is Static X with Wisconsin Death Trip. I absolutely love this album. I will make no shame in saying so. One of the best albums ever, in my opinion. Every fucking song on here. Trances the Motion, Push It, I'm With Stupid, Bled for Days, Love Dump, I Am, Otsegulation. Every single song in here. 10 out of 10 in my opinion. This is, like the guy from Into the Necrosphere says, the best thing to come out of nu metal. I couldn't agree more. If you haven't checked this out for whatever, this is better than 99% of industrial metal. If you haven't checked this out for whatever reason, do yourself a favor and check this out. You will not be disappointed. This is atmospheric. This is passionate. This is industrial metal done right. I would even say, you know what? I'm going to go as far and say this is better than anything Fear Factory's ever done. What do you think of that? I fucking love this album. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. I think I'm just going to continue doing this. Next video is going to be like 2000 in metal, 2001 in metal, 2002, whatever. Because it's a lot of fun. I like digging through my collection and just talking about music. I know, it's a lot of fun. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next video, and I'll see you later.